We're going to get started in about 5 minutes. So if you want to make your way to your seats, thank you. All right, everyone, we're going to get started in just a few minutes. If you want to take your seats. Hello, beautiful people. Everybody looks so nice. Thank you so much for coming tonight. We're going to go ahead and get started. I'll let people come in as they come in. But I want to really thank you all for joining us this evening here for Trailblazers live interview series. This is something new that we're doing here with Riviera Beach Police Department. And it was really just an opportunity for us to have a platform where we highlight those who are really doing the work in our communities, those are who are really making a positive change, who are doing big things. And so why wait until, they're gone or it's years later to recognize them? We want to do it while they are doing the work now. So I'm very excited about tonight. Our chief is not here yet, but this was his brainchild. This is only our second live interview. Our very first one, we interviewed State Attorney Dave Ehrenberg, which was a really awesome interview. And so, Chief really trusted me with this vision and gave me the go-ahead to run and bring this whole thing to life. And so I'm so excited for it, and I'm so excited for it to grow and to talk to more people. But tonight, we are here for a very special person, Palm Beach County Administrator Virginia Baker, and we're going to jump into it with her. But before we do, I have a very short video that I want to play. So if you can turn your attention to the screen, and then we'll get into it. As the Palm Beach County Administrator since 2015, Virginia Baker oversees 7,100 positions and manages a $7.9 billion budget in Florida's third largest county, home to 1.5 million residents. Under her leadership, Palm Beach County has achieved the coveted AAA bond rating, ensuring financial stability and growth. Mrs. Baker began her career with the county in 1987 as a budget analyst. Over the years, she has demonstrated exceptional collaboration skills, leading initiatives such as recruiting the Florida Scripps Research Institute and spearheading the 2016 Infrastructure Sales Tax Initiative, projected to generate $2.7 billion for schools, roads, and facilities. Committed to equality in housing, representation, and business opportunities, Mrs. Baker led the mandatory inclusionary workforce housing program and re implemented the Small Minority Women Business Enterprise Program in 2019. Her efforts have also secured major events, including presidential debates and Super Bowls, bringing national attention to Palm Beach County. Mrs. Baker holds a master's degree in public administration and a bachelor's degree in rehabilitative services from Florida State University. Her dedication and hard work have earned her numerous accolades, and her leadership and dedication continue to drive positive change and enhance the quality of life for Palm Beach County residents. And we are proud to welcome her as the next guest of Trailblazers PBC. So, without further ado, please welcome to the stage Miss Virginia Baker. And I realized that I forgot to even introduce myself. I just assumed everybody knows me. But my name is Serena Spates Redding. I am the senior multimedia communications specialist for the Riviera Beach Police Department, and I'm so happy to be here with you. And again, thank you all for joining us. I want to recognize our council chair that's in the audience, Mr. Lawson, and I also want to recognize the Palm Beach County administration that is joining us here as well to support the CJC and other really amazing people, Ms. Kitty London, that are joining us here tonight. So thank you so much. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Good, good. I'm extra excited that you're here with me. I know you said you were feeling a little bit under the weather, so I really do thank you for being here with me. So before we get started into our interview, I have a little surprise for you. I did not prep Ms. Baker with this, but we have a little social media challenge that we have at the police department. It's called 21 Questions with Riviera Beach Police Department. So I'm going to do a shorter version of that just to break the ice and maybe learn something that we didn't know before about you. So it's kind of like a rapid fire Q&A. Okay, you ready? All right, so quick answers, and it's 13 questions. So, all right. Number one, what's one thing that you can't live without?
My nails being done.
Okay, I feel you on that. I agree. If you could have dinner with any historical figure, who would it be and why?
It would be with Martin Luther King
Nice.
Jr. because this is a man that faced major adversity, but yet was always under control. And I think we could all learn from that today.
I agree with that. What's the best piece of advice you've ever received?
To be true to myself, and everything else will fall in place. So I
That's,
always share that advice.
that's good advice. What's your favorite memory from your childhood?
Got a lot of them. um, Probably when we won the city championship in City League girls softball.
Okay, all right, that's exciting. What's your go-to comfort food?
Pasta.
Pasta, carbs. If you could travel anywhere in the world, where would you go?
What's on my bucket list is my Alaska trip, which I had to cancel because of COVID. So
Wow.
that's where I want to go. I want to take a
Okay.
cruise in Alaska.
Okay, nice. What's your favorite hobby or pastime?
Probably reading.
Reading. That's a good hobby. One where you learn. If you weren't working in government, what career would you choose?
Probably designing clothing,
Nice.
retail.
Okay. Okay. Fashion. What's one thing people might be surprised to learn about you?
I'm really an introvert.
Okay. Me too. Do you have any pets?
No,
Okay. What's your favorite movie or TV show?
probably all of the CSI shows.
Okay. All right. There's a lot of them. What accomplishment are you most proud of?
Having my daughter.
Oh, and she's here. If you could have any superpower, what would it be and why?
If I could have a superpower, it would be to bring peace among man. And I think now is the time that we need to do that more than ever.
That would be a pretty awesome superpower.
Hmm.
That is 13 questions with Administrator Baker. Give her a round of applause. She had no idea that I was going to do that, so that was awesome. Thank you. Okay, so let's get into it. We all here in this room and around the county know you as a trailblazer. You've been that throughout your entire career, becoming the first African American and woman to serve as Palm Beach County Administrator. Can you share what this achievement means to you professionally and personally?
Professionally, this achievement means a lot because what it reflects is hard work, dedication, and ensuring that you have the skill sets and keep up with skills that are required for these jobs, the character and the personality. One of the things that I am most proud of and I try to implement every single day, and that's treating people like I want to be treated. On a personal level, I think being the first non white male to hold this position, um, because then it shows our younger people, for those that may be listening or coming in soon, that you too can accomplish these kinds of things. Uh, it's a matter of working hard, leadership, and being tenacious at accomplishing your goals.
Thank you. I like that you highlighted that it's a kind of a well-rounded, you're being a well-rounded person because a lot of times we tend to focus on one area and not the other. So I loved your answer. Thank you. Thank you.
They don't give me a choice. So.
So your career with the county started as a budget analyst in 1987, and you've since ascended to the role of county administrator. What are some key experiences or turning points in your career that prepared you for your current leadership position?
I believe almost every job I've had um, prepared me for the day I stepped into this role. I was lucky because I had mentors that cared, and for the most part, my career included men. That's for the most part who were my mentors in the workforce. So it's just a matter of being given the opportunity. I say to young people when I speak with them, mentor them, that find the finances, follow the money. You will learn a lot. And so I started in the budget office, became the impact fee coordinator. That assisted me in determining and developing um, the fees that new development would need to pay in order to keep our taxes low as we continue to move forward. That is our roads, our parks, our schools, public buildings, etc. So that helped me with my analytical skills, keeping them honed. Director of financial management also allowed me to continue to hone my analytical skills as well. And that particular job allowed me to move forward and actually look at the county and their different programs and to determine, are we moving forward? Are we moving in the direction we want to move? Should we continue with certain programs if they're not producing what we think they should produce? So that allowed me to be able to make recommendations to my bosses and then the Board of County Commissioners. And throughout my career with Palm Beach County, I was fortunate enough to work with elected officials. So I started working with them as a budget analyst. And back then, we didn't have term limits. So they got to know me, I got to know them. Uh, Given opportunities to do different things, such as school concurrency when it first started, along with you know, working on redistricting, which I did twice, and nobody should ever have to do that twice. Um, but it's just a number of things. I was able to uh, work with the state to recruit the Nationals and the Astros to Palm Beach County, keeping spring training here in Palm Beach County, negotiate along with my my partner, team member, Audrey Wolf, so that we could keep spring training on the East Coast. And so Palm Beach County ended up with two baseball stadiums, which significantly helps us because we're able, when the spring training is not going on, we're able to bring other sporting events to Palm Beach County, generating more economic power while we're here. One of the things that I'm really proud of is the fact that I have three fire rescue departments working together, and they support Palm Beach Lakes High School Fire Academy. And that was a lot of work, but it was worth it. And so I just found out one of the young men that went through the program had graduated. He now works for Palm Beach County. So that's an awesome feeling. And I have to give a shout out to Riviera Beach Fire Department because they hired one of our very first uh, graduates. And so did West Palm. They hired about three. So we're continuing to say, hey, our community, I mean, our workforce needs to reflect our community. And fire rescue has a long way to go, but we're getting there. We're getting there.
Awesome. I love that. And I know that's part of your growing our own philosophy. We're going to
Yes.
talk a little bit more about that later.
Okay.
But I love that. That's awesome. And congratulations. So we talked a little bit beforehand. We talked about growing up in Fort Pierce. I also am a product of Fort Pierce. I went to Lincoln Park Academy, and so we talked about it's the city of no pity.
Got that right.
Right? So growing up in Fort Pierce, you were part of the Youth Movement Club, and you successfully advocated for a traffic signal at a dangerous intersection. Can you talk about how this early experience shaped you and shaped your approach to community activism and public service?
We had a coach, his name was Robert Bennett, and one of our students, was killed in that intersection. So we had lost a lot of people in that intersection, and we were talking about it at school. He said, "So do something about it." So he helped us form the Youth Movement Club, and we started going to city commission meetings and speaking up about, you got to do something with this. It took us 2 years, but they finally put that traffic signal in, and it's there to this day. And that was when I was a young chickadee. So
Wow, wow, very early, very
yeah.
early activism.
And we also have to make sure our kids are involved. So it takes one or a group of us to make sure our kids come to city and county commission meetings so that they can see what's going on. That's where laws are, civil laws are made, and where your voice can be heard on what you think you need in your community. So it's our young people that we've got to start training.
Awesome, I love that. So both of your degrees, undergraduate and graduate degrees, are from Florida State University. I went to University of Florida, so I won't hold it against you. So how did your early education prepare you for the complex challenges of managing the county and a budget of 7.9 billion?
Well, attending a predominantly white school um, was an eye-opening experience, and it opened my eyes early on before I got in the workforce. So it taught you had to reach across the aisle and work with others that may not look like you. And then you got to know them, they got to know you. And at the end of the day, we're just people trying to accomplish the same thing. So that has helped me tremendously in working in Palm Beach County. It also taught me teamwork, which my parents also instilled in us because you were responsible for your sisters and brothers and your cousins because we had a big family. So we had to take care of each other. But in Palm Beach County government, we have what we call Team PBC. And so some of them are here. My assistant county administrator, Todd Von Lauren, is here. Lisa Della Rionda, who's my public information officer. Why don't Team PBC just wave your hand?
Or stand up.
Yeah, stand up so they can see you. I'm very proud of you. So we took down the silos because one department can't function properly without working with another department. I think COVID taught us a lot too, because we needed to work with our cities and continue to work with them. Infrastructure sales tax taught us a lot. I visited Riviera Beach quite often on that particular one. So it's a matter of understanding that we all want the same thing. We may look different, but we want the same thing. We want our family to be healthy. We want them to grow. We want their financial being to continue to grow. Um, and whether you're white, black, different cultures, it doesn't matter. We want the same thing. We don't want our children going hungry. We want a roof over their heads. And so we have got to get together and work through our differences so that we can see the similarities.
Thank you. So, talking about differences, one of the things I love about Palm Beach County is the diversity here. It truly is a melting pot, and it's increasingly become more diverse over the years. And so, what strategies have you implemented to ensure that all residents feel included in the decisions that are being made?
Again, I instituted, I want my workforce to look like my community. So when you have that diversity, we all look through different lenses. And so I want people at the table with me that's going to speak up and tell me about the difference in your lenses than mine so that we don't leave people behind. We work very, very closely with ensuring our community services department, which really provides social services. That's that net that catches individuals that may have challenges, whether paying rent or just physical challenges, disabilities. We want to make sure everyone has that opportunity. So we work with other partners, nonprofit institutes, making sure that our goals are aligned, and then we spend roughly about 14 million, if I make no mistake, uh, annually with partners in the community. So they may be providing the housing. We send the individuals there. They provide the housing, or we provide the housing. We have 4 housing resource centers, along with we have dollars that we put people up in hotels. We've got a 17 unit apartment complex off of um, Palm Beach Lakes Boulevard. So we're continuing to look to see how do we address the homelessness. And the major key is prevention. Because once they are homeless, it's difficult to get them back in. And of course, our legislators, in their wisdom, passed the law that says effective October 1, um, we're going to have to provide housing for the homeless. And then January 1, anyone can sue if the homeless is sleeping and camping in public places, which makes absolutely no sense, because if we're paying because people are suing us, those are dollars we could invest into housing for those individuals. So we're not giving up. We're going to push back, and we're going to go to Tallahassee, because they also reduced our housing amount. So it's kind of crazy.
Yeah. So, keeping along those lines, I know how important equality in housing is to your administration and how much work you guys have done in that space. Can you discuss the impact of the programs that you do have and some of the challenges? You just talked about one of the challenges, but some of the other challenges that you're facing on implementing those plans.
There are challenges. And I saw Mr. Green, Dr. Green just walked in. Dr. Green heads up our community services department. And again, that, as I stated, though, that's our social services department. And they actually have those safety nets in there. We also developed, myself along with Patrick Rutter, who's my deputy county administrator, back in '07, '06, and '07, we developed what we call in Palm Beach County government workforce housing. And so that we set that up, and you can only charge X amount. Unfortunately, it is guided by HUD guidelines for an average median income, and then the state follows that, which we're trying to change because it's not affordable. If they charge the max, it's just not affordable. So we are working with a number of others to, again, build more units so that our workforce will remain in our county. What we're finding is that the business community is also challenged because they're having difficulty recruiting individuals here because when they come they can't find decent affordable housing to live in. So we're working through that effort. We're also having affordable housing, which is 60% of the average median income and below. And so a lot of our teachers fall within that category. And we're going to be in trouble if our teachers leave our county. And so we're working with not only Palm Beach County government, but we're working with our cities as well. And I think all of us are starting to feel the pain because when government starts to recruit, we run into the same issues as well. We're also doing job training, working with Career Source on job training. We're working with a number of others when it comes to mental health because that is key. And so we find that when people have mental health challenges, it just knocks them out of bounds. And so they're not able to maintain a job. They're not able to communicate very well. So we're working very closely with the healthcare district, along with the South Florida SEPBIN as well, on providing mental health services. We're also working with our community because we don't recognize, or we have not in the past recognized mental health issues. We just say, oh, that's how Uncle Bobby is. But it isn't. Uncle Bobby might need some medication to just calm him down. Or he might have some other things going on that we need to provide services for. So there are a number of things that we're putting in place and have been over the last couple of decades, and will continue to do so.
Awesome. I want to go back to grow our own. I love that. I know that you've been a strong advocate for investing in local youth, and you talk a lot about growing our own. And so, can you discuss some of the programs and successes that you've had? You mentioned one earlier, which I thought was awesome, but talk a little bit more about that.
Our Board of County Commissioners, a number of years ago, created the Youth Services Department. And that department works with troubled youth. They work with kids growing out of foster care because we got a lot of kids in foster care. And if we're not careful, they get caught up when they're turned out on the street with nowhere to go and they end up being trafficked. And so we want to make sure that does not occur. So we've got programs for them. We also work with them. We create internships. That's a big thing of mine. I want to grow our own. I tell people all the time we invest in our kids pre-K through 12th grade. A lot of them go off to college and they don't come back home because they don't want to live with mom and dad and they can't afford to live here. So between ensuring that we are providing and looking toward the future as we recruit businesses to come into Palm Beach County, one of the specific things that I have always required was that given all things are equal, they hire Palm Beach County residents. And so we do go in and we audit them to make sure that they're actually advertising in Palm Beach County. They can advertise anywhere else they want, but we want it definitely advertised here in Palm Beach County. So we want to grow our own. So we're working with the state college. Dr. Parker works very closely with us as well, and our other universities. We got about 6 or 7 universities here in Palm Beach County. FAU, as you well know, is a very good school. They also have their medical program up at the north end of the county, and like Palm Beach Lakes with their fire academy. We want to make sure, as I mentioned, that we're getting them ready. So when they come out, they go through the state college program and then they're ready to be employed. So we're looking at a number of things. We need engineers, we need IT people. And so we're working with the school district as well. We need HVAC individuals. We need people that go in and actually just learn about electricity. What is it? Being an electrician, along with plumbing, etc. Those jobs pay a lot of money. And so we're short because a lot of the folks that was in those areas before, they're retired. And so we got a shortage that we need to make up.
So you talked about a lot of partnerships with the schools and
Yeah.
in the county, and that has been a really strong part of your administration as well as the strategic partnerships that you've created. You've led negotiations to bring Florida Scripps Research Institute here to the county, which is awesome. And so, can you talk about what you look for in potential partnerships, and what do you consider to be a successful public-private partnership?
Win-win. When we're working with the private sector, my main goal is to ensure that the public sector gets a win out of this as well, not just the private sector. And so we're always looking for that. With the Scripps Research Institute in Florida, what we required was that they, number one, work with our school system to teach our science teachers during the summer, that they hold summer programs for our kids that are interested in STEM. Um, and it's been over 25 years now, so they're still doing those kinds of things for us. And they hire our people as well. And because we brought Scripps into Palm Beach County, then Max Planck, which is another research institute that primarily was in Germany, we're the only other site outside of Germany. And they came here because Scripps was here. So we've grown a lot of biotech type projects here in Palm Beach County, and that particular industry continues to grow.
Awesome, awesome. So I was watching an interview. When I was doing my research, I was watching an interview and someone was talking about the budget. And they said, "Yeah, you manage a $7.9 million budget." And you said, "No, $1 billion." And I was like, that's an easy mistake to make because to wrap your head around that much money and how much it takes to run the county, as a resident here, it's you just don't think about it. And so let's talk about it. What strategies have you implemented to maintain? We have a AAA bond rating here in Palm Beach County. And so, what strategies have you implemented to maintain that? And talk about why it's so critical for us to have that rating here for our financial stability.
I'm going to start with the last part of it, why it's so critical, because we're then able to borrow money cheaper than the private sector. So when they come in and want to do partnerships, I got to look at that really close because we can borrow money cheaper than they can. And part of that is management, uh, stabilization, along with how we build our budget. Are we looking at our capital infrastructure? And now they're looking at infrastructure. Are you replacing worn out bridges? Are you replacing your pipes? How are you dealing with water issues in your community? And so Todd has worked with our water utilities department for many years, and we just opened another area, or will be opening another area that filters water. We don't waste anything because the gray water, which is not your drinking water, we then turn around and sell back to golf courses. So we don't waste. That helps bring in money, and so we attempt to keep our costs as low as possible, but yet be able to provide the things that residents in our community demand and deserve. Parks, we have national award-winning parks, along with our national award-winning water utilities. They just got another award. Our public affairs department, making sure, and they just received about 17 awards just recently. So we're very proud of what we do here in Palm Beach County. Our fire rescue department really works diligently, and they also, all of my employees volunteer
Awesome.
to give back to our community.
Awesome. I love it. I love it. So let's talk about the vision and future for Palm Beach County. As you look to the future of Palm Beach County, what are your primary goals and visions for continuing to improve the lives of the 1.5 million residents that live here?
Well, I envision that we will continue to partner, collaborate with our private sector, as well as other governmental entities, because that's what it takes. No one entity can do it all. So it's going to take 39 municipalities in the unincorporated area to address the homeless situation in our community. Yes, we are building more $1 million condos, but the bulk of us can't afford that. So we need to be building units that working class people can afford. And so we're working with our partners and ensuring that we're starting to build that. And I believe that our business community is ready also to work with us because they're feeling the crunch because they cannot recruit and retain employees in Palm Beach County. We're seeing a flight. It used to be that St. Lucie County was our bedroom community. Well, their cost in housing is going up. It's not as high as ours, but their cost is also going up. And so people are moving further up the East Coast. So we don't have a choice. If we're going to remain a viable and sustainable community, we have got to address the housing issue.
Awesome. Well, that's all my questions.
Okay.
You had your paper, but you didn't read off of it not one time. But ladies and gentlemen, Administrator Virginia Baker.
Thank you.
So,
I think you deserve a round of applause as
Thank you.
well. I can't believe you did all that research.
well, it was easy. I was just so interested in learning more about you. So it's such an honor to sit down and talk with you. So thank you again. But before you leave, I want you to stay right there. We have another little surprise for you. This one is better than the first one, though. And I actually want to call up, I know I recognize our council chair here. I also want to call up our mayor as well, Mayor Felder, to come up and assist me with this one. And before I start, do you guys want to say any words? I always like to give the opportunity.
You guys, please, let's first give it up for Miss Virginia Baker one more time, guys, please. Sarita, you're awesome. Bringing this to our city and continue to recognize the trailblazers of our community is what we're doing here in Riviera Beach. Chief, thank you for bringing this gem here to our community. Thank you to our amazing department. You guys, Virginia Baker has been a leader, and she doesn't even know it, but she's been my mentor since I've been a little kid, watching her grow. My last legislative aide worked in her. No, I won't. And I'm going to tell y'all now, I'm not sharing her. But Virginia has been an amazing mentor. My last legislative aide actually worked for her for a number of years, and he's now elevated over the years to being an assistant city manager up in Cincinnati, Ohio, working with myself in Virginia. But she kind of paved the way for him, starting in the mailroom, then budget analyst, and then going up the ranks. So she's serious about succession planning, continuity in government, and training and uplifting. So those are some of the things that she doesn't even realize she's impacting young people like us to continue to grow and follow her steps. So on behalf of the city of Riviera Beach, Councilman Lawson, Mayor Ronnie Felder, we thank you. Thank you for the blessing you've been to our community. Thank you.
And I know the chief is hiding back there. He never wants me to call him up, but I think he should come up as well, Chief Coleman. And say a few words.
First of all, let's say thanks for everybody for coming out. The vision for putting this together is to bring people to our city, to Riviera Beach. A lot of time you hear all the negative things about what we do in this city, but we are gem. We have a lot to offer, and I've always wanted to show outsiders what we have to offer. So the vision for this to bring people into our city. Secondly, I don't think you guys realize how valuable this person is to all of us. When I was in law enforcement, I took another track. I wanted to build houses. I met with her several times, and I fell in love with building houses. And I learned so much from her about housing, how to build wealth in the community. She hooked me up with Mr. James Green. I served on CAP for many, many years with the CAP program. I learned so much how to build community, which have helped me be a better police chief. And the reason I am a police chief is because of you. And I thank you for that. And because, I met with your staff yesterday, and everything you said, you must teaching them how to say everything you say, or giving them all the resources in your head, because they're passionate about what you're doing and what they're doing. So they met with us and say, we want to be partnership. That's a beautiful thing, because most people have never came to Riviera Beach, say they want to partner with us. Now you got county commissioners and people want to partner with people at Riviera Beach. I thank you guys for taking the time to want to partner with us. So thank you. So I know you're Delta, and I thank you for that. Exactly. And we as Divine Nine group, I am Omega, and I think Mr. Green, he stepped out. We love to see what individuals, and this gentleman right here, whatever he is, we love we love to see our own ascend to the level of the most powerful person in the city of Palm Beach County. When I took Major Gordon to your office, he never heard of you. He had researched you, he studied you, he wanted to be like you. And he never knew there was a person of your caliber running the county. Palm Beach County, $7 billion budget. Never heard of you. But now he knows everything about you. And that's because you left a lasting impression on Major Gordon. So thank you for everything you do for us in Palm Beach County.
Chief, thank you. Thank you for your partnership, making sure our parks are clean and making sure your residents have a good experience when they visit the parks. So I do thank you for your partnership. Our team works with yours in our parks to ensure people are behaving themselves and that everybody can go in and enjoy it. So thank you for everything. And actually, I mentioned COVID earlier. You guys were awesome in partnering with COVID to make sure that all of our communities received everything that others received, and you were easy to work with. So I do thank you, and your fire chief. So thank you very much. And again, none of us do anything alone. We can't. We're not an island. We can't do anything alone. And again, I'm going to say and give accolades to my staff because sometimes they're ahead of me. They said, "Oh, I knew you were going to ask that, so here it is." Blah blah blah. So I've accomplished the things I have because of them.
So it is with great honor and admiration that we gather here today to recognize an exceptional public servant who has dedicated her life to serving the community. Administrator Baker, your commitment to serving the public with integrity and compassion have earned you the respect and admiration of all. Today, we salute you and express our deepest gratitude for your outstanding contributions to our community. As the Palm Beach County Administrator, you embody the true spirit of public service, and it is our privilege to present you with the Public Servant Award from the Riviera Beach Police Department.
I don't do nothing without my police team. So if I have any officers in the room, I have to bring them up because they do all the hard work. On behalf of the city of Riviera Beach and all the citizens, we would like to say thank you for your leadership and all your accomplishments. So we appreciate it. Love you.
Are there any, I normally don't do this, and we talked about this, but is there any questions in the audience? Maybe we can take one or two. One question? All right, we have one question from the audience we're going to take.
My name is Lee Innocenti, and I'm relatively new to Florida. I've been here just 8 years, and I read about all the counties in the state. And I imagine that there must be meetings that you go to with other people like yourself from the other counties. And I'm wondering, in what category would Palm Beach County show up as number one relative to other counties? And on the other side, in what category would Palm Beach County be the bottom of all the counties in the state, if there is such category?
We will never be bottom.
Okay.
So let me be clear on that. Again, I mentioned earlier, we received our national award just recently for our water utilities department and how we're handling not only our potable water, but also our gray water. So we sell gray water to Florida Power and Light. So we're always looking to make sure that we move up. We are one of 40 counties in the nation that have a AAA bond rating. And that is very important to me. I do not want to lose that bond rating when I'm the county administrator. So that alone says a lot about what we do. Our rating agencies, which are in New York, they actually look at our budgets. They keep up with the newspaper and what we're doing in Palm Beach County, whether we're investing in capital or whether we're investing in personnel. They look at it all. And so when we go up for our ratings, we're ready to issue bonds. They walk us through all of that, and we have to answer those questions. And so all three of them continued to give us a AAA bond rating just a couple of years ago. 52. Yeah, we're one of 52 counties in the nation. There are 3,063
Wow.
counties in the nation. So
That's great.
yeah.
And where would we be towards the bottom of a list of counties in the state?
We're not near the bottom anyway.
In any?
No, ma'am.
No. Homelessness,
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
hunger,
Mm-mm.
nothing.
No. When the state passed the law they did last session, we were already ahead of that in helping our homeless. We had 4 resource centers where men and women, they sleep on separate sides, but they can go into those centers, right? We were working with our partners to help ensure that any of our seniors that are homeless, that we can put them in places. Our board has allowed us to set up funds so that we can put people into hotels if we don't have beds available for them. We've got, as I stated, the 17-unit apartment complex where we put families, because you will not believe the number of people that live in their cars with their kids. And they don't want to ask for help because they're afraid they're going to lose their kids. And that's ridiculous. So we continue to work through those programs. We're looking at properties now that we want to turn into units, old hotels. We're looking to purchase those. We purchased a property out in Belglade. Yeah, Belglade. That's the reception center, but it also has beds. And then we purchased a unit in Pahokee, and that's a family and single district. So it's like 40-some units, James? 42 units out there that we can put families in so that the people in the Glades don't have to come all the way to the east side, so they can stay where their security is, and that's mom and dad and people that can help them with the kids. So no, we're nowhere near the bottom.
Great. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. One of my visions was to create these cottages. And again, none of us do anything by ourselves. And we had a facilities development and operations director. She retired and we got a new one. But she started that along with me. And we actually took the property from the old tax collector's property, and we built 17 units on there. So we're gonna put those families in there. We're gonna wrap social services around them, which includes mental, teaching them skill sets, so that we can, after 24 months, they're ready to go out and into other places. So we're continuing to work that process through.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Henry Salter from Fort Pierce.
Yes, Mr. Pierce.
This is Salter, Henry.
I know who you are.
Lincoln Park Academy, Fort Pierce, Florida. I salute you.
Thank you.
Another Lincoln Park grad. I also graduated from there. Anyone else?
I'm a Fort Pierce Central High grad. But you graduated from, your dad did. Okay. So we had a number of, thank you, Fort Pierce, for showing up tonight. Appreciate that.
Any other question?
And I also like to share with you, we moved here, I moved here. My husband was already here and he had a best friend and she became my best friend. And we helped raise our kids together. So they're like our family. Margaret Mobley, stand up. Danielle, Dennis. So we continue to grow our family. I told you, grow our own, we grow families as well. All right, any other questions? Thank you for coming out. I'm sorry. Hi.
What would be your overall vision for this county and its future? What do you want to see us working towards and achieving?
I want to see us working toward actually building more workforce affordable housing and making it really affordable. That's what I want to see us do. I also want to see us continue to train our kids. We know what we need in our community when it comes to skill sets. So we need to work with the school district. We need to work with our colleges to make sure that we're pumping them out because we spend a lot of money recruiting businesses here. And we want our kids to get those jobs. We don't necessarily want them bringing all people from everywhere. We got well-educated kids right here. So that's what I want to see. Okay. Thank you. Thank you again for coming out.
Thank you.